Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am sure you are very familiar with this page if you did watch my example 3.5 recording, where we were focusing on the amount that must be invested now in order for this person who has retired, Mr. Smith, to receive 800 every month for the next 10 years. Now we are now coming to 3.5.1, variation of the above example, meaning it is an extended version of the above example. Obviously, let us read with the deep analysis. Mr. Smith wants to know how much he must presently invest. I want to highlight or circle that presently invest, meaning how much must be invested now, and I want to put a dot here. Is the amount that must be invested now. This is now that we're talking about. This is period 0, how much must be invested now, but with the provision that the first payment of 800 is made to him at the end of month 15. That means from now, where we invested money that we don't know, but we know that an amount must be invested now, and this amount must stay in the account from month 1, month 2, up to month number 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to continue, obviously. Then up to month number 14, this person is not receiving anything, remember, because he wants to invest some sum of money, and this sum of money must stay in the account up to month number 14. Then after month number 14, then now in the following month, which is month number 15, this person is now ready to receive the amount of 800 for the next 10 years. It further says that he is assured of earning 15% per annum compounded monthly during the investment period of 10 years. Remember that 10 years comes from the same question. This is the same gentleman Smith who recently retired. So now he still wants to receive the amount of 800 in the next 10 years, but starting in the 15th month. This is where now he wants to start earning the 800, not from the beginning of the period or one time interval after. Meaning here in month number 15, he starts now earning an amount of 800. Then we have month number 16, he starts earning an amount of 800. Month number 17, obviously I will have to stop here, he starts earning an amount of 800 up to where? Up to month number obviously it has to be from here, it will be 10 years. We are heading to 10 years from month number 15. So from month number 15 up to the end, we are talking of 10 years, because that is the period in which he wants to receive the 800. So we know that from month number 15 upwards, it is 10 years monthly receipts or monthly withdrawals of 800 from the amount that we don't know. What does this mean? This means we need to discount our future payments and say we know that this person will be receiving 800 for the next 10 years. So now we need to calculate the present value, meaning how much must be here. In other words, this is our main focus. How much must be the balance here? How much must be the present value here? Meaning how much must be the present value of these payments, meaning how much must be in the account presently here at the end of month 15, so that this person can be able to receive 800 for the next 10 years. In other words, we need to calculate the present value of the payments. Now this is the present value of the payments for the next 10 years. Then obviously this is going to be the same, but now remember, this present value was not just a present value. We started the investment here, beginning of the period, at now period. So now this amount must also go back now 14 months down the line. 14 months down the line there. We need to draw this money back 14 months down the line and say this is the present value, but this is the future value of this present value. And I want to say that this is the present value of the future payments for the next 10 years, but this present value is the future value of this present value, because an amount was invested presently, it accumulated to become this amount, and on the 15th month this person started to receive money. Then started to receive money from month 15 up to the next 10 years from month 15. So now we need to calculate the present value of the payments first, meaning how much was in the account when the first payment was made. That is our focus. How much was in the account when the first payment was made, which is this present value is our main menu, our main focus. Now obviously nothing will change. Why? Because figures are the same and the scenario is the same. The present value will still remain because the period is definitely the same. Now let us go now on that same note and we do the calculation. Open up the page where I have to write. We are now doing 3.5.1, which is my 3.5. Let me skip this page so that we don't remember what we did. 3.5.1 is the continuation of 3.5. We have plus minus an amount of 800. Then plus minus an amount of 800. Then we say this is our PMT. We want to know how much is in the account before the 15th payment or withdrawal takes place. Then we say now this is our interest. Our interest is still 15% divided by 12 was compounded monthly. Our N is 120, which is 10 years times by 12, because this person will receive 800 every month for the next 10 years, which is 120 months. Then we compute PMT. We compute present value, not PMT. We compute present value. We need the present value just on the date when the first payment took place. So now we're calculating that present value. Then now which we know the present value from our previous calculation. If you remember that it was 49,586.28. I still have it here. I don't have to be repeating that also. 49,586 rand 28 cents. This is the present value. Where is this present value? Let us focus on that. Where is this present value? This present value is sitting here. This is this present value, 49,586 rand 28 cents. This present value is exactly here, but just before that payment took place. So now is the present value just before the 15th payment took place. Now if we have this present value here, which is the present value of all these future withdrawals of 800, then this present value needs to go down there to the beginning of the period. So now if this go down to the beginning of the period, therefore now this present value is no longer a present value. It is the future to the amount that was here in the beginning, because the question said how much must be invested presently. That was the question. How much must be invested presently? And this is what we are looking for, and I don't know why this is erasing. I did not want it to erase, to be honest, because it's consuming my time now. We have 1 here, we have 2 here, we have 14 here, and remember there's no payment taking place here. Now we continue on the same note to say this present value is the future value, so we change this from present value into future value. And if you remember, in the future value of an annuity, we used to change the future value into present value, but we're changing the present value into future value because this is the topic that deals with things from the other way around. Instead of the future value, we are dealing with the present value, from present value to future value. This future value, we need to say this is the amount we have after 14 months. Remember, it's after 14 months. In the 15th month, we need to know how much did we have in the beginning. which is now when we started the investment. How much was there in the beginning? So we are looking for the present value. So this becomes the future value. We do have our interest, which is 15%. We do have our N, which is 14 months. So that is not a transmesh. We look for the present value. Then we go there. Then we say, okay, this present value now becomes the future value. Plus minus 49,586 rand 28 cents is the future value at the end of month 14. At the end of month 14, we compute this at the end of month 14. So now that will be the end of month 14 future value. Then we say our interest is 15 divided by 12. Our N is 14 month, from month 1 to month 14. Then we say compute present value. Compute present value. So now let us do that computation of the present value. Fortunately, my calculator is next to me. I forgot that I will need it. We say plus minus 49,586.28 is the future value. 15 divided by 12 is the interest. 14 is our N. We compute the present value, meaning we have 41,670 rand 73 cents. What does this mean? 41,670.70 cents. It simply means sorry to go to the calculator. It simply means that we have this present value here. Let's undo. Thank you. This simply means that this is 41,670.73. Let me explain what is the meaning of all of this now that we end up in it now. In other words, we invested this money. This money accumulated interest month 1, month 2, month 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then it accumulated interest, and in the 15th month there was a payment. Now, in other words, there was a withdrawal because this person is making withdrawals. Now, there was a withdrawal that was made by this person from month 15, and he made a withdrawal on month 15 up to the next 10 years from month 15. Now, we say this 41,000 moved from 41,760 earning interest up until 49,000. So that means when this person was making the withdrawal, the amount that was in the account was 49,582.28. And we know that this person will make withdrawals from this amount. He will make withdrawals from this amount from the 15th month up to the next 10 years. So now, in other words, we are working in the reverse in this question. What do you mean we work in the reverse? I mean, now that we don't know how much was invested, but we know some money was invested, and it accumulated interest up to month number 14. On the 15th month, a withdrawal started, and what was in the account was 49,000. Then we know that this person made withdrawals of 800 for the next 10 years, withdrawing from this amount. Remember, every time this person withdraw, this amount will decrease, and the interest for that 1 month will be taken into account, will be added. So now, what do we not know? We don't know this, and we don't know this, but we know that these payments of 800 or these withdrawals of 800, they are taken from the amount somewhere there, which is the 49,000. So now we are saying, in other words, we know the withdrawals that will take place is 800 for the next 10 years. So now let us see how much was this amount in which these payments were taken from or are being taken from. So that is why now we use the PMT 800, and we use 10 years, which is 120 months, and we use 15 to calculate the present value in which these withdrawals are being withdrawn from. So the minute we get this present value, say, okay, thank you. When this amount was not started here, it was invested somewhere in the beginning, because here now we are in month 15 when the withdrawal took place. So now we need to go back to the 14th month going down. So now meaning from here we have 14 months in between. So that means we need to say this is the present value now of the payments, but the future value to the amount that was there, which is 41,000. So now we're working in the reverse. It's very important to master this, guys. I'm taking my time to explain because I know it does not easily make sense when you go through this for the first time until one masters it very well. As long you know that there was sum of money somewhere, it earned interest up to month 15, and in month 15 a withdrawal took place for the next 10 years from month 15. So we know that from the first withdrawal in month 15 up to the last withdrawal, 120 withdrawals will take place. So we need the present value of those withdrawals and the present value of the amount in which the withdrawal is taking place in the beginning. With that, guys, I think I've done enough to simplify this to you. With those words, guys, let me say thank you. Have a very wonderful day or a very wonderful evening. Thank you very much. Let us meet in the next question, where I will be talking about the same present value of an annuity in example 3.5. Now, example 3.6, which is secondly. What do I mean when I say secondly in this example? In other words, I am now back to the second part. Secondly, present value of an annuity can be understood as a lump sum of money that is presently owed. That means in this scenario we're talking about, we are owing somebody. In the previous scenario, which was example 3.5 and 3.5.1, if you remember, the one we just did now, example 3.5.1, it was the amount that was invested presently. And we could see that this gentleman, Mr. Smith, invested money presently in order for him to generate withdrawals for the next 10 years. So that was the first scenario. Now, the second scenario, we are owing somebody, meaning we are buying something on credit, and we are going to make monthly payments. Now, take note, monthly payments in order to settle the amount that we are owing presently. And those payments are equal, and they can change along the way because of some circumstances, but at the end of the day they normally become equally. But sometimes they are not equal, but most of the times they are equally. At the end of the day they settle the amount that we owe. With that, guys, thank you very much.